So you ever wanted to ride your electric scooter and jam out to tunes at the same time? Well, now you can with the new Vipcoo VS2 electric scooter, because it has a built-in Bluetooth speaker right up front here that you can connect to your phone and play tunes while you ride. How you doing? My name is Hobart from HobartReviews.com. Thanks so much for joining me today. We're going to be looking at a brand new electric scooter brand by the name of Vipcoo. Now, Vipcoo is made by the same people who make the Rid brand of electric scooters and the Does brand of electric bikes, both which I have reviewed on this channel before. But this is a brand new brand, and this is one of the first scooters that they put out. It's called the VS2. You can currently buy this online for between $600 and $700, depending on the website you go to and the sales that are going on, which makes this a very affordable electric scooter for what you get. Now, as far as assembly is concerned, when you take it out of the box, there's really not much for you to do. The only thing I had to do was install the handlebars and add the seat if you're going to ride it in the sit-down configuration. Of course, pump the tires up to 35 psi and charge the battery to 100%, and you're ready to ride. Now, you can ride this in the sit-down or the stand-up configuration. Currently, obviously, I have it in the sit-down configuration, but if you do want to stand up on this scooter, just remove the seat and the seat post, and you also have adjustments here on your handlebars so that you can bring them up to a little bit higher level so it's more comfortable when you're standing. Now, as far as the motor is concerned, we do have a single rear 700-watt motor, which can get this baby up to 28 miles an hour, and we're going to test that here in a few minutes when we go out on our ride. But it does have a speed limiter when it does ship, so if you're in a country that has laws on top speeds, you should be good. But if you don't, like I do in the US, then you're going to want to remove that speed limiter so you can get all the speed you can, and it's pretty simple to do so. Once you have the scooter on, you're just going to hit this power button underneath the throttle here 5 times in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and by doing that, you've just removed the speed limiter, and now you're able to go 28 miles an hour. Now, for the battery, we do have a 48-volt, 13-amp-hour lithium-ion battery here inside the deck, which they say we can get a range of up to 19 miles on a charge. So I really wish it had a little bit more range, and they might be able to fit some more batteries inside this deck if the deck wasn't so small. And that's one of the things that worries me so far with this scooter is the size of the deck. I mean, if I were to take my size 11 shoe and put it on this deck, you can see it takes up the entire deck, and there's really no place for me to put my second foot. So this might be better suited for standing for kids and teens and smaller adults, but people with big shoes and big feet like me, you're not really going to have much room to stand on this, and that's one of the reasons why I have it in the sit-down configuration right now. Now, for tires, we do have 10-inch tubed pneumatic tires, and they're not really fat tires and they're not really skinny bicycle tires. They're kind of somewhere in between. Now, one thing that I did notice is they do have tread on them, little nubbies, which means we should be able to go on off-road trails and dirt trails and stuff like that, which we're going to test when we go out on a ride to see how well it does off-road. Now, you do have front and rear mechanical disc brakes. They are not hydraulic, but you're not going to get that for this price point, and they seem to work pretty well. I haven't had any issues with squeaking or any noises, but I did have to do some adjustments after taking it out of the box because I did have some rubbing on the discs, but it's as simple as just loosening things up, holding onto your brakes, tightening things back up again, and everything was fine. But the brakes seem to work pretty good so far. Now, if you don't have a big truck or an SUV and you still want to put this in your trunk to be able to take it places, you're able to do that because it does fold down. First, you're going to remove this knob. Then there's a spring-loaded pin on the side you'll pull out, and the scooter is going to fold. Unfolding it is just as easy. You're going to push the stud back through the hole. That spring-loaded pin is going to lock things down so that it doesn't fall back down. Just make sure to put this knob on nice and tight so that you don't have any issues when riding. Now, the VS2 does have front and rear suspension. They call it swing arm suspension because of this here, which I guess technically might be right, but it really is just a spring in the front and a spring in the back. And we're going to test and see how well it cushions our ride here in just a few minutes. If you're like me and you like to take rides at night, you'll be happy to know you'll be nice and visible with this front LED headlight. You also have a rear tail light and left and right blinkers, both in the front and rear of the deck. So if I turn on the headlight, you can see it's a nice bright LED light. And then by switching on the blinker, you can see the blinker lights up orange there in the front and in the rear of the deck. So you'll be nice and visible to other riders and drivers when you're out at night. Now, another one of the cool features that sets the VS2 apart from other electric scooters, besides that built-in Bluetooth speaker, is the lockbox in the rear. So they give you 2 sets of keys when you get the scooter. One is for the ignition and one is for the lockbox. And by using the keys, you can see inside it's nice and big and roomy. You could put your charger in here if you need to charge while at work. trunk. You can put a bottle of water, your wallet, your keys, your cell phone, whatever you need to bring with you when you ride. Now, I'm not sure if this is waterproof or not. Taking a look at the design though, it's got nice smooth edges, and it looks like the water may roll right past that crack, but again, I can't guarantee anything. Now, another thing that this lockbox doubles as is a seat. Yeah, they got padding on the top of it, so when you're taking a water break, you can take a load off by sitting on the rear lockbox, and your butt's not gonna hurt because it's nice and cushioned, and then when you're ready to ride, you can get back up again and head back out on your ride. So another really cool feature on the VS2 is this seat/lockbox. And finally, let's take a look at the cockpit. So over here on the left, we've got your rear disc brake, your on and off switch for your headlights and tail lights, left and right blinker controls, and you've got a nice loud electronic horn. Over here on the right, we've got our front disc brakes, our thumb throttle, and underneath that is our power button. So to power this scooter on, you're gonna turn the key and you're gonna hold that power button for 3 to 4 seconds while the scooter powers up. Now, once it's powered up, you are gonna be in speed mode 1, so to change to speed mode 2 or 3, you're gonna tap the power button once to get into speed mode 2, and one more time, get you into speed mode 3. Now, let's take a look at this really cool, nice big LCD screen that we've got here. In the center, we've got miles per hour. Over here to the left, we have our voltages, which we're at 54.1 volts, fully charged. A battery indicator underneath that. And then I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's a little headlight indicator there in the corner. You have an odometer and trip, which switches back and forth on its own. You can't do anything about that. And you've got your current speed mode, which we're in speed mode 3. Now, one question I had right away is, how do you get into the P settings menu? This is the menu that allows you to change certain settings, which again, be careful before you change anything. But to get into that menu, you're gonna tap your power button 3 times, 1, 2, 3. And when you do that, you can see that you're inside the P settings menu. You have a choice between P1, P5, P6, P8, PC, and that's it. Now, I did get some instructions from the manufacturer on what some of these do, so I'll try to put those down in the description for you so that you know what's going on, all right? Well, that's a look at the Vipcoo VS2 cockpit. Well, now that we know pretty much everything there is to know about the new Vipcoo VS2 electric scooter, what do you say? Let's head out on the ride and see how it performs on the road. We're gonna test out acceleration, top speed, the brakes at full speed, also do some off-roading, some hill riding, and of course at the end of the video I'm going to have real range estimates to see how close we can get to that 19 miles of range here on the Vipcoo VS2. So let me go ahead and grab my helmet and let's head out on the ride. All right, so before we get started, I want to make sure to turn on the GPS app so we can get an accurate top speed and an accurate range estimate by the time we're done riding. So let me go ahead and hit the start button there. And what I like to do is see how long it takes us to get to 20 miles an hour. So let's go ahead and see how fast this 700 watt motor gets us to 20. And go. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10. So it looks like about 10 seconds it takes us to get to 20 miles an hour. So we do have a little bit of wind today, and right now I'm going against the wind, and it looks like I'm only able to hit a top speed of around 22 or 23 miles an hour. So I'm not able to get to that top speed of 28 when going against the wind. So what do you say? Let's turn around and go with the wind and see if we can hit the top speed of 28 miles an hour. 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 27, and can we get to 28? Yes, we got to 28. So there you go. That shows you that the wind definitely does have an effect on how fast you can go, depending on if you're going with the wind or against the wind. All right, so the next thing I want to test is these disc brakes. I'm going to try to get up to the top speed or as close as I can, slam on the brakes as hard as I can, and see what happens. 26, 27, slam on the brakes. Whoa, all right. Well, as you can see, I did leave a strip here, but I didn't hear any squeaking whatsoever, so no squeaking, no noise out of these brakes, and I was able to stop from 27 miles an hour to 0 in a matter of about 30 feet or so. So I think the brakes are working really well. Nice brake test. All right, so the next thing I want to do is try to ride it in the grass to see if it's got enough power to power me through the grass and at what speed. So let's go ahead, get a little bit of a head start here, and we're going to head straight into this sod and see if we can hold speed or what's going to happen when we're in the grass. Oh no, it's slowing down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and we stopped. So the VS2 is definitely not a scooter that's got enough power, at least with me riding on it, to get you through the grass. All right, on to the next challenge. All right, so now I'm in a construction area where it looks like they're getting ready to pave. So while it is still dirt, it is compacted dirt. So let's see what kind of traction we get here on this off-road type of situation. Let me go ahead and get going. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's go back and forth here. Looks like we got some good traction with these tires. Not sliding out. 20 miles an hour around the corner. Can we do it? Not bad. Didn't have any sliding or anything like that. So looks like the tires with those nubbies and that traction on there is at least able to give us some grip when we're in situations like this where we have some compacted sand and dirt. All right, so you might remember this from one of my other videos. We got these big, huge piles of dirt here, but there is some looser sand than what we rode on earlier. So I wanted to ride on some looser sand to see if this thing can do anything when riding on loose sand versus that really compacted stuff. So let's take this out here and see how well it does off-roading. Well, it's already doing better than it did in the grass, that's for sure. 11 miles an hour, 14 miles an hour. I do feel a little slipping going on though. Whoa! Suspension test, suspension test. Well, you might be able to go on some light off-road trails. Just make sure that the trails are compacted. Whoa, as you can see right there, I'm slipping out. Just trying to make a turn here. So the scooter definitely doesn't like this type of, look at, I'm flooring it right now and it's not going anywhere. So I guess I'm gonna have to walk it out of here because it doesn't want to go anymore. All right, so I figured I'd stop and do a quick range check and top speed check. So taking a look at the app here, it looks like we've gone 5.5 miles so far and reached a top speed of 27 miles an hour. Now looking at the screen showing we got 47.4 volts left and about half of a battery already here in 5.5 miles. So let's keep riding and let's see what kind of range we can get here by the end of the ride. All right, let's see how maneuverable this scooter is. And like I said earlier, it's a very stable, comfortable scooter to ride. So when riding around sharp turns like this, you're able to do it pretty easily without any issues. So getting around tight spaces like sidewalks, you can turn nice and easily. So maneuverability is pretty good here on this scooter. All right, so I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but under power, I'm down to 2 bars and we've gone about 8 miles so far. 43.7 volts is what it's showing here. The other thing is, as we get down this low in battery, we're only able to get to 25 miles an hour and I'm going with the wind. Now sitting down, you are able to lean into your turns really nicely like you would on a moped or an electric bike or something like that. So far the suspension works okay. I'm not going to give it 5 stars. I'll give it about 3.5 stars because when I do go over some of these big bumps, it is pretty jarring. It does have a high enough seat so that my knees are not up against my chest. So I do like that, but I don't really have any room for my feet down there. If you can see, here's a bump. Oh! But as you can see, my feet are pretty cramped down there. I don't really have enough room to put both of them on there. All right, I'm down to 42 volts, 1 bar while under power. Looks like I've gone about 10 miles. Let's hope we can get back to the car. I'm only hitting 21 now, 22, and this is with the wind. 23. Here's a bump. Oh, yeah, those are a little rough there. I'm down to 0 bars. I got 0 bars. The battery is flashing. I'm at 40.1 volts, 16 miles an hour. We're dying. All right, I'm gonna turn around and head back to the car here just so that I can make sure I get back to my vehicle. I got it floored right now. We're only hitting 7, 8. I mean, this thing is dying as we speak. 39 volts left in the battery. The car is just right up here. Come on, you can make it. 7. We're so close. Come on, baby. 4. Almost made it to the turn. And, all right. I'll consider that we made it. Let's go ahead and see what we got. All right, well, we were barely able to get the VS2 back to the vehicle. It just took a little bit of walking, but I was able to get here. I currently have a flashing battery symbol and 39.7 volts left on the battery. That's your cutoff point. This thing won't go anymore, period, the end. But the number I'm really interested to find out is how close to that 19 miles of range were we able to get today on our ride. And based on the GPS app here, it looks like we went 11.54 miles on our ride. A little bit more than half, but not close to that 19 miles of range. which could pose a problem for somebody who wants to use this as a daily commuter. Depending on your commute distance, you definitely want to bring that battery charger and that lockbox so that when you get to work or your destination, you're able to charge it so that you're able to get back home. So that range really isn't that favorable. It's more of something that you might want to use to ride around the neighborhood or take a quick trip up to the store and back. But long rides, like I like to take 20, 25 miles, just not possible with the Vipcoo VS2. If you do want to purchase one of these for the kids, or if you're a college student looking to get around campus and you just need something to get around faster than walking, this is great. It's affordable, $600 to $700 online. You do get a lot of scooter for $600 to $700, and I'll go ahead and leave a link down below for you so you can purchase it. It does help out the channel, but doesn't cost you any more. Also, if you have any questions or comments about the VS2, make sure to leave them below. I'll be happy to answer any of them that I can. And until next time, friends, thanks so much for joining me today. My name is Hobart for Hobart Reviews and the Vipcoo VS2. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day and safe ride.